Hi everyone, and welcome to In Father's House, a podcast produced by the source of all life. My name is Jenny Nkebemiso. In today's episode of In Father's House, we will be looking at what is mind. Specifically today, we are going to be looking at the mind God created. God, who is the creator of the universe, the heaven, the earth, you and me. We want to look at that mind that He created. This is going to be a series where I will be breaking down everything I know about the mind from a spiritual perspective to help you align your true self that God created, the one God sees when He sees you, to help you align that self and live life to complete and perfect peace. The goal of this series is to free you from the entanglement of your mind. To free you, because here the mind most people live from is different from the mind God created in creation. So the goal of this series is to free you from the entanglement of your self-created mind, to take you to a place of freedom. What kind of freedom are we going to be talking about? Or what freedom do I mean? Freedom from stress, fear, and all the things that are plaguing your mind. If you wish to find freedom from your mind, if you wish to find freedom from stress, if you wish to find freedom from depression, if you wish to find freedom from the frustration of all that is going on in the world that we know, then this series is for you. Though it appears that there's a lot of joy or happiness, or people are living life to their fullest, people saying, I'm living my best life. But truly, is mankind really living life to the fullness? Because in my opinion, correct me if you can, but I strongly believe that humanity has stopped living life because of the tremendous amount of stress, fear, frustration that people experience on a daily basis. As a result of that, most people are not living life. So I don't think it's right to say that the whole of mankind has stopped living. No, most people have stopped living life because their souls are troubled. They are living in pain. They are living in distress. They are living in trauma. They are living in so many forms of suffering. Based on that, I believe that most people have stopped living life because of their daily experiences of the discomfort and the turbulence that they experience in their mind on a daily basis. And I also believe that for man to eliminate the stress, the fear, the distress, the depression, the increasing mental health issue that is going on around most people are experiencing, for humanity to entirely free themselves, liberate themselves from and live a stress-free life, human must know and understand what is mind. It is of paramount importance that you understand what is mind. It is of paramount importance that you understand how the mind functions, how the mind was made. Because that understanding is what is going to set you free from fear, from distress. That understanding is what is going to protect you. That understanding mind is going to help you and give you the security we are all looking for. This brings me, what is mind? From a spiritual perspective. And I'm just saying that from a spiritual perspective because this show is a spiritual talk show. But the truth is that mind is spirit. So what is mind? Mind is God. God is mind. So whenever you say mind, you are saying God. And whatever you are saying or whenever I'm going to be using mine, I'm referring to God. And whenever I'm going to be using God, I'm referring to mine. God is mine. Mine is God. God is spirit. Mine is spirit. And again, that's a spiritual understanding. That's a fact. That's a truth about what is mine. And of course, mine is the powerhouse where we live and function. This is one of the first lessons I learned while, I don't want to call it going to the school of the spirit, but while God, the still small voice, was teaching me about my mind and the importance of me to understand my mind, to be able to overcome my own mental health issue, my suffering, my pain, my frustration, my fears, my security, my search for protection from the fear of death, from the fear of the unknown, from mental illness, from panic attacks, episodes of panic attacks. In that journey, one of the first lessons I learned was that I needed to understand what is mine, and that mine is the powerhouse where I live and function from. The mind is the place where choices are made, where decisions are made, where perspectives are coined, behaviors, thought patterns, opinions, beliefs are all founded in the mind. It is such a big warehouse. So, the mind I'm referring to is the true mind, is the mind that was created by the author of creation, which is God, which is mine itself, because it is the intelligence that created you and that created me. But for some reason, the mind that is popular and common to humans is the human mind. The human mind, standing from a spiritual point of view and looking at the human mind, I would say the human mind, which is the truth, the human mind is an illusionary mind. It is a mind you have created. You have created an illusionary mind for yourself. And for most people, they believe that this is the mind. This is the one and only mind. No. You have created an illusionary mind for yourself. So this mindset you have created for yourself is what is sabotaging you. Is what is causing you fear. Is what is causing you pain. For me, God had to reveal to me this mind, because He needed to show me the mind I was operating and living from, the mind that was functioning and influencing and controlling my life, that you needed to know the mind you are living from. And He told me that I have created an illusionary mind for myself, a mindset that is sabotaging me and causing me mental illness, mental distress, depression, anxiety, and making me to live a life of fear. So this mindset I've created for myself. So I was wondering, how did I create a mindset? How did that happen? I didn't set out, intentionally go out to set up a mind. I didn't realize I had created a mind for myself. So how did I create that mind? And He now explained to me how I created that mindset. As I was born as a child, I was told that you were born into this world. And because you were born into this world, you will live, and at a certain point you will die. So it's a mindset that has a beginning and it has an end. The beginning is when you were born, and the end is when you die. And as I was told, is that when I was born, I was given a name, that your name is Jenny. And that you are a human being. And because I believed that I was Jenny, that I was born and I will die. By that, me accepting that belief, that thought, that idea was registered in my mind. And it was validated and cemented that my name is Jenny. I was born, and one day I will live and I will die. and that I am a human being. Because I accepted, whether knowingly or unknowingly, I accepted that identity. I accepted that personality. That was the foundation of my own illusionary mind. And for you watching me, whatever your name is, the fact that you believe that you are this personality, call it by your name. For me, it is Jenny. By me accepting that personality, I've established a fact that this is who I've identified myself as this person. And I have accepted this person to be a truth about who I am. And therefore, this truth that I've established has been recorded and registered in my mind. And that is who I am. So that identity as Jenny, and the identity as a human, is the foundation of the mind that I was living from. I'm no longer living in that mind, but before God delivered me from my own mental illness, mental distress, He needed me to understand how the origin of the mind that I created for myself. So, understanding that, accepting that I am a human being, born and will die, and all the things that come with our human and all the things that comes as a human, is creating a mindset of my own. So this self-created mindset is what was controlling me, and it's what is controlling you, and it's also affecting how you think, how you behave, your desires, what you like, what you do not like. That belief is kind of your foundation, is the foundation of who you are. So this mind you have created for you. So what mind have you created for yourself? What are the beliefs you have for yourself? Do you believe that you are a human being? Do you believe in the personality that you call by your name, whatever your name is? For me, my name is Jenny. So when you believe you are a human being, you believe in this personality that you created. So this mindset, it comes like an image. So it's like, I am a human being. That's an image you've created for yourself. And that image is recorded, registered in your mind. I am a personality. So that's the first aspect. You're a human being. I'm a personality. And this personality is known as Jenny. And that personality, that image of that personality is recorded in your mind. Everything that you record, everything that you believe about yourself, you believe to be who you are. This self-created mind is what is controlling you and affecting how you think, how you behave, your desire, the things you like and the things you do not like. This mind you have created is what sustains your belief. It's what sustains your fear, your stress. When you are afraid of something, that is the mind, because you've programmed it that this is who I am. I am Jenny. I am human. I will live. I was born and I will die at some point I will die. And all the things that comes with you being human. All the beliefs that you've accumulated over the years is what is sustaining your belief. Is what that foundation is what that foundation of you being human. You were born, you will die, and all the things that comes as human, all the beliefs that sustains you as human, is what is sustaining your belief. It sustains your fears. It sustains your stress. It sustains your habits, and it's what is hindering you from embracing life. Hindering you from embracing life to the fullest. So when you stop believing in these things, then these things will have no influence and control over you. But as long as you believe that you're a human, you believe that you will die, and then at some point you were born, you will die, and that you believe in this, just list of humans have unlimited list of beliefs, opinions, thoughts, concepts that sustains the human mind. So as long as you believe in these things, as long as you believe in that man, that image that you've created for yourself, that is what is going to sustain all your belief. It is going to sustain your fear. It's sustaining your stress. It's sustaining your habit. And it is hindering you from embracing your life, you living life to your fullest potential. Please, I don't know if this makes sense. If you need some clarification, just ask me in the comments. So, but the problem is that this mind that you have created for yourself, this image that you've created, this image that you've embraced, of established as who you are, this mindset, the problem is that this mind you have created is not your true mind. And because it is not your true mind, you need to know your true mind to enable you to manage and control your thoughts, your desires, your behavior. That explains why there's a lot of mental health issue. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of depression. There's a lot of thoughts, negative thinking. Where is it coming from? You are unable to control those things because you created them for yourself, and those things need to be there to enable you to sustain you. It's like you covenanting with death, because that is what the human mind is all about. It's you, by accepting the human mind, you unconsciously made a covenant with depression. You made a covenant with anxiety. You made a covenant with mental illness. You made a covenant with death. So it has entangled you. It is manipulating you. It is controlling you. It determines how you feel, how you behave, what you do, how you see life, and how you enjoy life. But again, that is not the true mind. That is a false illusion. That is a false mind. And for that reason, if for any reason you want to take back the control of your life, live life to your fullest potential, align yourself to who you are, then you have to let go of that mind that you unconsciously or consciously created for yourself and accept your true mind. And that is where your true mind comes in. But first, you must let go of this false mind, this false image you've created for yourself. So when you let go, then you'll be able to see your true mind. For you need to know your true mind to enable you to manage and control your thoughts, your desire. You need to let go of those beliefs, those opinions, all the things, all the mantras, and the things you've created and established for yourself and identified yourself with. For these beliefs, these mantras, these opinions have shaped your experiences. When you start living from your true mind, from the true perspective of how God creates and sees you, your life will be seen differently. Your life will be viewed differently. When you stop living as a human being and start accepting and believing in the life and the mind God created when He created you, you will live life to your fullest potential. Now, this is where God comes in. This is where it is important for you to know your mind. So let's look at this man, because you were created by God, the creator and the author of the universe. God created you in His likeness, in His image. If you want to know more about it, go and read Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. God created man in His likeness and in His image. Man was created from God's pure nature. You were created from God's pure nature. What is God? What is that nature? What is God's pure nature? God's pure nature is spirit. Therefore, You were created spirit. You are spirit from the beginning. For you were created in God's image and in God's likeness, in God's nature. Therefore, you are spirit. So now, let's take a look at that man, the man God created. Let's take a look at how God created you. The man God created was the mind. The man God created was the mind of God. God is mind. The nature of God is mind. What is mine? God is mine. You are mine because you were created in God's image and in God's likeness. So when God was creating that man in Genesis chapter 1, what God created, and that is who you are. And that's what the still small voice, the Holy Spirit, taught me. That above everything, this is what I must know and I must believe. And I'm sharing it with you today. That above all else, you must know who you are. You must know yourself and see yourself the way God sees you from a spiritual perspective. And God sees you as spirit. God created you in His pure image and in His pure likeness. You are mine. What is mine? You are mine. The mind you have been living from, the mind we hear people talk about, human mind, is a false reality. It's an illusion. It's a false image. It is not true. The true mind, there is only one mind, and that mind is God, and that God is who you are. The Bible tells us that male and female created He him. That this mind has two parts. Even though there are two parts, there is one. That's the spiritual calculation. Male and female. The male part of this man is spirit. This spirit is God. It's also referred to as God. It's also referred to as mind. It's also referred to as truth. And the female part of this man is the soul. So God created man, male and female. The male part is the mind, is the spirit, is God, is truth. So the spirit, God, truth, mind is one and the same thing. So when I say spirit, I'm referring to God, I'm referring to truth, I'm referring to mind, because it's one and the same thing. And the female is the soul. The soul is because this part of that creation has the ability to give birth, to bring forth. And that is why even though you are not aware of who you are spiritually, but all the things you registered and programmed into your mind to say, I am human, that humanity, that humanness has taken because you are not aware of who you are spiritually. So the human image that you created for yourself, some people call it the devil, some people call it human. That nature, that false nature of what you created for yourself is taking the position of God and claiming to be God in your life. That's why it's controlling you. And because you are not aware of who you are spiritually. But that doesn't change the fact that you are a spirit being, that you have a spirit and you have a soul. And of course, your soul is active because you accepted and believed that nature of who you are as that, claiming that you are a human being, and because you accepted that truth that you are human. What does that mean? That idea, that thought, that belief is now transferred to your soul, and your soul, which has the ability, which has the womb, and has the ability to bring forth, to give birth, manifest that thing that you believe in. So if you believe in fear, I'm afraid of whatever it is that you are afraid of, once you believe in that thing, just that thought, that idea, once you accept that idea, you believe in that idea, it's registered in your mind. What happens? The mind takes it to the soul, and the soul brings to manifestation that idea that you had believed in. So if you believe you are depressed, then you'll be depressed. If you believe you are anxious, then you see anxiety. So the mind, even though you are not aware of the fact that you're spirit, doesn't mean that it doesn't operate, it doesn't work. Because you have believed in that and your soul is active, it's active. Now, your soul now gives birth to whatever idea you dream of. But the problem here is that because you are not aware of who you are, and the mind that you have created for yourself, that self-created image, is now manipulating you. Because you have no idea, it's now manipulating you and now sitting on the throne of your life together with the soul, and they are producing the life of pain and suffering and depression and sorrow and pain. But that is not the mind God created. The mind God created is male and female. The male is the spirit, is God, is mind, is truth, and the female is the soul. The spirit and the soul, by design, as God created it, are in a marriage covenant relationship, and they are bound eternally to function together as one. Nothing can separate it. Nothing can separate them. They are bound by creation, by God. They are programmed that way. They can never be separated from each other. So as a result of that, the spirit cannot live separately from the soul. And the soul cannot live independently, separately from the spirit. They must live together. They must live together as one. Nothing, no power, nothing can separate them from living together. So this mind called God is the origin of all things, of ideas, is the intelligence of the beautiful animals you see. I love sea animals. I'm amazed by the plants that grow in the ocean. And when I see those beautiful animals in the sea, in the ocean, it just blows my mind how powerful creation is. When I look at the human brain and I see the design, how beautiful it was put together, and I was like, wow. And I just marvel at the intelligence of God, the mind, the brain, the intelligence that created the human brain, that created the mountains, that created the oceans, that created you, that created me, that created the whole of creation. And coming to discover that intelligence, that this mind called God is the origin, is the brain behind everything we are enjoying and seeing. And that mind is who I am. Can you fathom that for 1 second? Can you believe that? This mind called God, this intelligence called God, is the author of things, is the author of ideas, is the author of the intelligence of your brain, of what you call man. Oh, my dear friend, you've created a false image of yourself. That image, that reality that you've created for yourself is what is sabotaging you, is what is hurting you, is what is causing you all the pain. You are not that image that you see yourself in the mirror every day. That is not who you are. You are spirit in creation. You are mind in creation. When God looks at you, God sees you. God sees himself because he created you in his own image, pure image, in his own nature. When God sees you, God sees mind. God doesn't see the human mind because the human mind is an illusion. It's a mirage. It's only in your imagination. It's not real. It's just like you go to bed and you sleep in the night or even during the day and you have a dream. If I ask you to take me to that place where you had that dream, Would you be able to take me to the place where you had a dream? Can you go back to your dream and re-dream your dream? It's not. It's a mirage. The human mind is a false reality. It's a false consciousness. It's an imagination that you have created. Just like you watch movies. There are some movies that you watch. You are so glued to the screen. And you can't imagine the writer of that movie, how they put that together. But does that mean that fictional movie is true? It's just an imagination. It's just a mirage. It's the same thing with the human mind. It's the same thing in what we call human being. It's a mirage. It's an imagination. It's a dream. That is not who you are. You are spirit in creation. You are mind in creation. The one who created you is God. And that is who you are. Until you begin to see yourself in this light, until you begin to see yourself in this truth, until humanity, until mankind begin to see themselves the way God sees them, they begin to see themselves as spirit being and live as spirit being. Mental illness, depression, anxiety, suffering, pain, frustration, and all the things that are going on around us will never cease. It will never stop. Because they are all part of this dream. You can only know that this is a dream when you wake up to your true identity. When you wake up to who you are as God sees you. So God and mind are the same thing. When you say God, you are referring to mind. When you say mind, you are referring to God. So when you speak of God, you are referring to the mind. And when you speak of mind, you are referring to God, and vice versa. Now, enough of all the things I've said about the Holy Spirit telling me this, or the still small voice telling me. I want us to now look at the truth. What is truth? I want to show you the truth that has been around for thousands and thousands of years. The good book, the holy book, the Bible tells us that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. It says, my people, the people of the world, humanity is suffering simply because they lack the knowledge, the true knowledge of who they are. They lack the knowledge that God is mind. They lack the knowledge that mind is God. The lack of the true knowledge of God, of mind, is the one and only reason you are unable to embrace a worry-free life, a worry-free mind. The only reason your mind is not at peace is because you do not know who you are. That is the only reason. Once you know who you are, your mind will be free from the lies and the deceptions that the human mind has programmed you into. Once you know this truth, you'll be free. You'll be able to live a worry-free life today, now, and achieve your highest potential. This is the truth that will set the whole of humanity free. And now, let's focus on this truth. I want to show you the truth that has been documented for ages, centuries and centuries. And what is this truth? The truth is that there is only one God. There is only one mind. This truth can also be seen in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 39. And it says, now see that I, even I, am He, and there is no God beside me. Now see that you should see that you should see that that God, that I, even I am He, and there is no God beside me. In the same book, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 35, it says that you were shown these things so that you would know that the Lord is God and there is no other God beside Him. That you were shown these things so that you will know that the Lord is God and there is no other God beside Him. Remember, when I refer to God, I'm referring to mine. When I refer to mine, I'm referring to God. Don't forget that. The truth is God who created you is the one and only God. The truth is God who created you is one God and not many gods. The truth is God who created you is one mind and not many minds. This also means that there is only one mind, not many minds, as most people would think, or as the human mind would think that there are so many minds. Let's look at it in a different way. Believing that the 7.9 billion people on the earth today, if you look at it from a human perspective, when you look at the human mind, it means that everybody has a mind of its own. A has a mind of its own, B has a mind of its own. So when you look at it that way, the way the human mind sees it, what it means is that for the 7.9 billion people who are on the earth today, it means that there are 7.9 million people. So it means that there are 7.9 million minds. And of course, 7.9 million gods. Seriously? It is false. That's a lie. But that's what the human mind makes you to believe. That there are 7.9 million, because there are 7.9 billion people, not millions, sorry, because there are 7.9 billion people on the earth today, it means that it equals to 7.9 billion minds on the earth. And of course, many gods. This is false. This is false. This is false. That is not true. There is only one God, and there is only one mind. There are not 7.9 billion minds. It is a false reality. That is not true. There is only one God. There is only one mind. There is only one spirit. There is only one life. And there is only one truth. Isaiah chapter 45 verse 21 says that, who had declared this from ancient time? Who had told it from that time? Have not I the Lord? And there is no God else. There is no God besides me. A just God and a Savior. There is none besides me. Isaiah chapter 45 verse 22 also says, also calls unto you, is calling unto you by saying that, look to me and be saved, all you ends of the earth, for I am God and there is no other. It says that, look to me, look to this mind, the only mind God created. Look to this God, the one and only God, and you will be safe. It is only this mind, the mind of Christ, the mind called God, that can save you. All you ends of the earth, for I am God, and there is no other God. God is mine, and there is only one mind. Look to the one and only mind, and you will be saved and redeemed from all forms of fear, all forms of stress, all forms of negativity, all forms of negative thinking, self-doubt, anxiety, depression, suffering, pain, trauma. This is a one solution that fixes all of humans' problems. It's a one size that fits all. This is believing that there is only one God. There is only one mind. This is the only perspective which can break your circle of fear, your circle of trauma, your circle of depression, your circle of anxiety, and dissolve everything that has held you bound in front of your very own eyes. This is the very foundation of understanding your mind. This singular vision is your key to freedom. If you seek freedom from mental health, if you seek freedom from depression, if you seek freedom from trauma, if you seek freedom from suffering, pain, and tribulation, this is your key to your freedom. Understanding your mind, accepting your true identity, and let go of the false image, the false reality, the false mind, the illusionary mind and identity you are living from. Well, this is the first episode of a series of episodes that is going to come your way. If this is something that you are interested in, then I invite you to journey with me through this journey. I will share with you all the things, the tools, and the teachings that God taught me for more than a decade now. And I want to share it with you. And I hope that you open your mind, open your heart, and accept your true mind and your true identity, and live life to your fullest potential. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next episode. Thank you. Bye.